Hello, hello. Okay, we're back, and I am going to clean up my commit from earlier. Hi, Kat. You want to come over? Okay, wait. If you're going to come over, let me move this chair and everything. She's going to come over. She just needed the minute. So what do we do here? This is zone transition region. Yep. Yeah, I'll take a look at all this stuff. I think it's probably going to be fine. On player exited house. You can exit the farm. You can only exit in the house right now. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Moved. Sure. Yep. Yeah, some of this got nicer. Player entered door. Given a vector representing any direction, so we'll return a unit vector pointing only left, right, up, or down. As a result, you should be able to compare equality with vector 2 dot up. Yeah, there we go. Hey, Leaper Girl. Did you actually claim first? Yeah, no one's claimed it yet. You can click the button. Use the chat redemption thing, whatever. Channel point. There you go. You did it. You're first. It's official. This is going on your permanent record. This wrapped, but this wrapped at like some weird amount. Usually too slow. Well, you got it this time. You did it. Hope the day's going well. Door area. Yeah, this is fine. Anything else? No, I think we're pretty good. Okay, so this represents anything that can transition us between zones. It's pretty much just a region that you enter directionally. Pressing up into a door. Yeah. Any other things here? No, that's pretty good. Okay. So checking all that stuff. Allow exiting your house. Good. Done. Hey, Dark. Okay, make sure camera smoothing isn't on when you enter the house. Yeah, I think we have set current zone. So I guess we want to set the camera here. Smoothing enabled equals false. Then set it back to true. Then set it to the player's position. Let's see if that works. I wanted to just instantaneously move, and then maybe we have... It's not instantaneously moving. Maybe we have a transition to cover this up. Camera position is set there. Maybe you can't do things this way. Yeah, maybe you can't do things this way. I'm not sure though, because I bet changing the position, like this probably doesn't do anything this frame. So we turn on position smoothing enabled again. Like if I just leave this off, it's probably gonna work fine. Hey David, how you doing? Yeah, so now it works. Also for like a split frame, yeah, we need some kind of transition thing. Also, this would be very jarring if this is really how this worked. Because you could press like down up really fast and swap. Yeah, we should block you for a little bit. And it'll cover the animation change too. Or put the code in the wrong spot and only notice after the program crashed? I'm asking because you're so fast at adding the code to the right spot. Oh yeah, tons of times. Or like I forget to save something or forget to attach a script or something. Yeah. All right, so we're not going to do any of this. This is not worthwhile. What is worthwhile is add a fade to black transition. All right, so fading to black happens in the farm game itself. Oh, we don't have anything that does this? Maybe it happens in main? Yeah, we have a screen fade here. Okay. 2 signs, needing food and making mistakes. So yeah, we do have a screen fade here. I think having the main game change it is probably not worthwhile. We should probably make a different screen fade over here. Yeah. Oh, nice. 3 stream streak. Good job. Yeah, I want to change this. All right, fine. Let's go do it. What if I add something here? I guess we need another canvas layer for this. Canvas layer. Wonder if it's a problem to have so many of these. And then add a color rectangle. This is just going to take up the whole screen. And we're going to make it transparent and black. And we call this screen fade. So the farming game is going to keep track of this. Something needs to know to transition. I guess it'd be this. Private color rect screen fade. Good. Now we want to tween this just like how main tweens this. Screen fade color. Tweak it to 0. Right, this is now not visible. So I need some way to fade this in and out. Finding a better asset pack for the platformer. I think you should consider making the game like fully horizontal so the background fits nicely since the parallax doesn't allow for vertical variety. I know what you're saying, but I think the jump animations, it's really important to have verticality in it. So yeah, I think we'll just find some generic like background and it should be okay. Hey JD, hey Sarah. The project's going pretty well. We have 2 weeks before vacation. And I want to get as much done as possible so that we can hopefully start some playtesting. I don't know how doable it's going to be, but yeah, we're going as fast as we can. And thanks, JD. Yeah, this is my Skeleseller hoodie. All right, so we want to stop input when we do this. And maybe we have like input stop due to screen fade or something. So private void fade screen. Bool fade in. Okay, so if fade in, then the color is transparent. No, this is the wrong transparent. And where do we get the tween from? Oh, we create it from the screen fade. Okay, yeah. So this is going to happen no matter what. Tween the color of it. I mean, this works, but can't we just tween the modulate? Why do I do things this way? Huh. Yeah, we could have just set this to black and then changed the self-modulate on this. Yeah, I think that'd be a lot easier, right? I think that's what I'm going to do. We also probably just shouldn't even render it at all if it's going to be totally transparent. So if fade in screen fade dot show. screen fade dot self modulate equals colors dot transparent, and then tween the self modulate to be colors dot black. Otherwise, and this should probably be a pretty fast fade in and fade out, so maybe like 0.3 seconds. I don't know, maybe that's too fast. Current one is also good for checkpoint 1. That's still fine. Fast to set up with auto tiles anyway. I do want to find a different one. I still never got around to writing those instructions, which I'd like to do, and I keep thinking, oh, now's the day, but there's just so much to do here. Well, they both end in not being on time to something, because you late. Let's finish this. So this is going to be colors dot black. This is that we're fading out. And we set it to colors dot transparent. Iziga. And hey, Soma. Hello, hello, everybody. Okay, then once this is done, tween.tween callback, I think. We do callable dot from. Yep, there it was. Why won't it type it out for me? There, nice. So no matter what, I guess we're showing this. And now the rest of this is looking pretty good. Yeah. I guess we could set the, let's just do it this way. So var start color equals, oh my God, I'd love to just pick that. I feel like, yeah, there we go. So now we set the screen fade dot self modulate equals start color. I could just do this here actually. Yep. And then tween.tween property. And then if we are fading out, we want to do that. Okay, good. Two days max? I mean, this is for like all the games though, Dark. Which is why I want to get those instructions soon, because like we have the platformer, which granted, we just need the background. I think the rest of that's fine. The platformer, the farming game, the house in the farming game, then the combined game, the Architect's Realm, and maybe the Architect's Office, but the Office is probably okay right now. But yeah, anyway, I'm glad you're working on that stuff, because I do not like doing that. I don't like doing any of that. All right, so now it should fade out. It does not, because I never called this. Took 1 hour. Okay, yeah, great. Got the right person for the job. All right, so whenever you enter, we call it set current zone. I think what we'll do is we'll fade screen true here. Wait, no. Fade out first. And then just fade it back in immediately. So this should probably return a tween. Oh, here she comes. Here she comes. Come on over, cat. Come on over. Yes, that's right. Oh, I know she wants to sit down. She's just acting like, oh, I'm looking somewhere else. I don't really want to be here. What are you doing? What did I just say? All right, she left. I'm now catless. Catless Everdeen. Tween equals this. Tween dot callback. All right, let's go try that. Oh, and I gotta stop your input from working during that too. This is still not functioning. What's going on here? Fade screen false. We show this, self-modulate, so fade in is not true, so we fade to black. Oh, it's... No. It's hidden by default. That's okay. Oh, it's self-modulate. Whoops. That is supposed to be transparent. There we go. I changed this modulate. So there are two things that can make something transparent. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. What's going on? It's like a horror game. Oh, this thing broke again. Oh, there we go. Fade screen. So fade in. What does fade in mean? I guess this is super confusing, right? Fade in means it should turn transparent. It's not actually what we want. Like, show scene. How about that? So if we're showing the scene, then this thing, yeah. So now this is named correctly. So it's the opposite of what I had it named before. And now we go find this. So show scene is... Yeah, I don't want to... No, wait. No. This is difficult. If we're showing the scene, then this is transparent. That's the start color. Yeah, so this is backwards. So black we replace with red. Red we replace with transparent. And then red... Wait, no, sorry, I said that backwards. Whatever. This will probably work. Let's find out. All right, so yeah, there's a fade out happening before we even move the camera. And it's too fast. And it happens even when we set this originally. So maybe we skip this the very first time around. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. Where's your logic at? This is the logic. What are you talking about? I hate dilutes. I think this is still probably going to feel too fast. It's going to have the initial fade that I don't want, which just ignore that part. But over here, we move the camera so fast that you can see the camera moving underneath that. We could just turn smoothing off for that time. I think that would work just fine. Camera dot smoothing is false. And then once we're over here, camera smoothing is true again. Yeah. In game dev, aren't there calculations or something relating to how things interact with each other? Yeah, that's any of the code. I think you might be talking about maybe the engine versus the game itself. So something like, I don't know, are two objects colliding? This is typically something that your engine will handle. And then what do you do as a result is something that typically your game will handle. So this code is on GitHub in the Godot engine repo. And if you search for something like, I don't know, area 2D or something, you'll find it here. Yeah, so there's a collision object. You'll probably find a bunch of code in this. Yeah. Hey, Davey. Also, please do try to keep in mind, there is one uncommon rule in this channel, and it's don't segment messages. All the problems have been solved. Well, wait, did that actually work? Yeah, so I guess we want to do the actual scene transition just from a different place. I need to wait for this to be done. And we'll put all of this in here. And then where's this supposed to go? Oh, whoops. I didn't see that. Yeah. Yeah, sure thing. Tell us. Seen the time tracking plugin in Writer? You can set up timers for tasks you're working at right now. Second last icon on your right bar. Is this just to see how long something takes me? I'm not even sure what. Second last icon on the right bar. It is... I don't know what you're talking about here. I see dot trace and problems. Those kind of look like they'd be it. Maybe I'm confusing what you mean by right bar. Huh. All right, so we are now doing this asynchronously, so we can't set the player position because we don't have a player just yet. So I guess set current zone the very first time you call it should be immediate. At which point we don't fade in the screen. True. Fade screen. How about this? Let's do this the other way around. So if you're fading the screen, we do it this way. Otherwise, we do a create tween. And then just immediately call this. And then same thing here. If fade screen. There, let's try that. It's similar. It's in command palette. Yeah, I'll take a look at this. I probably don't want it on, but yeah, we could take a look. Time tracking. Nothing here. What? Oh, you have to enable it. I see. So what does this do? Default task time spent 2 days, 17 hours. I see. So you can just add a new task or open something. Yeah, I don't think I want this because I don't know what I would do with the data here. Probably just get frustrated at how long something is taking me. All right, so here we call this. I think the problem is this will not run immediately. Yeah. And then we set the camera position, but again, we just won't even have a player yet. Are they open source? Does it depend on the engine? Yeah, it depends on the engine. Godot is open source, but something like Unity is not. Yeah, okay. So I need to change this completely to just do all of this stuff, I guess. Well, not even all of that stuff, just this stuff. All right, so let's undo what I just did here. So set current zone with fade. And we just want a set current zone. And that's going to do all of this stuff. Good and good, right? Just pass in the zone now. There. Okay, let's try that. You're trying to use the black screen to hide the camera movement? I'm just trying to use the black screen to make it not so jarring. There is no more camera movement anymore. We have the position smoothing turned off while it's fading. Whoops, what did I miss? Oh yeah, because we call set current zone. We got to do it with fading now everywhere, huh? With fade, cool. But hey, mooncakes. Now let's see if this is working now. Nice, so there's no fade in at the beginning. So the camera is zooming or still is moving, which shouldn't be the case. And I see why we are not doing this correctly. So I need a tween for when we're... I need to change this after like 1 frame, I guess. And then tween dot parallel dot tween callback. This is a little weird, but I think this should work. We need to wait 1 frame for the camera to have moved first during process. Okay, let's try that. Ah, it's still not working. We also need to stop your movement. And when you enter a scene, we need to reset the player location. Reset player location upon changing scenes. It's almost like it should just make the scene from scratch. At which point, this stuff that I did about like let's keep around a player instance or whatever, like it's not even really necessary. Disable input while transitioning. So what am I missing here? I mean, I guess what we could do is we could parallelize the kicking off of a new tween. Yeah, we could do that. This is still kind of weird. Camera create tween tween callback. All right, that'll work. So we're awaiting a process frame. I just want to see if this is going to function correctly. Camera tween. At which point we don't need what I just did. Nice. Okay, yeah, that's working a lot better now. Now it just immediately like warps you in. Player teleports to a different location. Yeah, that's why the camera's moving. Okay, so now this doesn't need to be this way. This could just be like so. Done. And then the amount of time it takes for this to show and hide is not great. Float duration equals. So on showing the scene, maybe it's pretty quick. But on fading out, maybe it's slower. I don't know what's going to feel good there. Let's try that. That's pretty nice. You actually can go out of bounds here because we don't stop input. So you could make it over to here. Oh, you can dig. You can probably plant here too, and you can probably water this. Wow, neat. I feel like we should just leave that in. Yeah, I can't dig there. I love this idea. It is broken. Yeah, I need, oh wow, you can even dig here. I wonder why this is happening though, because it should only be when it's a specific tile. So I would have had to pick the exact same position. Or we're no longer running a conditional check. I can't plant seeds everywhere. By the way, this was originally the plan, was to have it so you could dig up any tile. And I do like the idea of you being able to do this in your house. But yeah, anyway, ignoring that for now. So resetting the position of the player when they enter. I guess we have the same problem. Wait, I shouldn't have stopped that. We have the same problem when they enter the house too, right? No, because there's collision there. Okay, so we could just stop this by putting collision at the bottom. We don't really need to stop input. Is there a reason to stop it then? I can. It's simple to do. Just should we? So like if I move up, even while the screen is, yeah, like does it matter that you're getting a little bit away from wherever you are? Not really. I don't think that's a big problem. So yeah, let's just put in collision then inside the house interior. This should be pretty simple. So just add a new static body collision shape and make it a rectangle and put it, whoopsie doodle. Let's put this in the right spot. All right, so it's just got to be like there. Whoops. Oh my God. I find this so hard to do. There we go. If you dig far enough, you can go to another house. We should change the localization of the game. Your game changes to French all of a sudden when you're in the other house. So now you can't keep walking downward. It will try to make you walk downward, but this is as far as you'll go. And it's not like you get stuck or something. Although maybe we should only make it like 1 pixel big. It does kind of make me think we should just reset the player position. Yeah. So whenever you enter this scene, you're always in the same spot. I don't know. I don't really care too much. Yeah. As long as you do something like this, I think we're fine. How do you get out of the art and design? Is that literally just all through code? So the art I got through Itch for right now. I bought a bunch of asset packs. So I'll just show you what these typically look like. You'll get something like this. So here's a bunch of beds, right? And he'd be like, oh, I want the blue one in my game. So then you tell it through code, here's how you use that one or that one in particular. Or you make the art yourself. I mean, I'm not an artist, so I can't do this stuff, but lots of people can. Not me. All right, so I think we're good here. Add this, disable input, we're not going to do. Reset player location, we're not going to do. When changing zones, should have some kind of initial camera. We don't need to do anything special there. Yeah, we're pretty good. Saw a seed looking blanket. So I am kind of curious what's causing that digging to work over here. The farming game checks the current environment. Where is that? Here it is. Current zone.environment. And then the environment knows whether or not you can plant on a particular tile. It's checking to see if the atlas coordinates are 914. And it's the atlas coordinates of the ground layer. I didn't somehow make that 914, did I? I'd be incredibly surprised if I did, because that was total coincidence. How do we do this? Like so. No, it's 15.1. So it's definitely not considered a dirt tile. Oh, wait. It's not supposed to be checking for dirt. It doesn't check for anything. That's right. I forgot about that. We just only have grass and dirt in the other one. And you're just not allowed to shovel up a watered tile. So this is what's causing this. Yeah, right here on player use shovel. We just check to make sure it's not watered. I actually think this is totally fine. Yeah, I think we'll just leave this in the house. If you use your shovel and you're in the house. What is that? Disable hot reload. No, I don't want to disable that. There. How do you select your assets? I did that on stream before. We just found some assets. For this game in particular, it's a very different process because we can take any asset pack and make a game out of it and put it in this game. So like, I want to make a space shooter at some point. I'll do something like this. I'll click game assets and then I'll just look through these and see like which graphics look cool. So maybe it's this and maybe we have enough stuff to make a game. If not, then we look through some other ones and we eventually just find something. There aren't a lot of space shooters in particular. But yeah, you find something decent and then you go make a game out of it. Yeah. I wonder what the last like popular space shooter was. There are those hang on, what is this? These games, yeah. One-man game developer. Wait, is one person making all this stuff? Wow. Okay, so we're leaving everything else as is, and we're calling on that? Nice. Okay, sounds good. So what did we do here? Added the screen transition. Yeah, so I want to put a comment here. The very first time we set the zone should call this function directly. Otherwise, we should use the other version of this. cref equals the fade one. Cool. All right, can we make this any better? Yeah, can't we? Can't we do this? Or will that not work anymore? Also, we have audio on. How does this sound? You try digging. I mean, I don't really care. I'm not going to fix this. And it tries using... Oh, wait. Oh, because you start using water and then without my hand on the controller... Yeah, I see it finishes. So we do have to stop input during that time then. Yeah. And what else do we have here? I just love this idea. Watering seeds in your house. It's so stupid. Oh my god. Oh man. I'm so keeping that in. You don't really have to do art if you're making a pixel art game. They're great tools for making pixelated art from images. You get cheap 3D assets for environments. Wait, what are these tools? Hey, Dev Dad. Welcome back. How was your weekend? All right, so stop input during transitions. There was one other thing I wanted to do here. Oh yeah, this is working just fine, right? So we can delete this. So this is a lot cleaner looking now. Yeah. We fade in the screen. Then when it's done, we set the camera smoothing off and we don't turn it back on until 1 frame later. Yeah. Glad to get back to the grind as always though. Well, that's good. I think it's always nice when you're excited about the work that you're doing. How is your project going? Skipping the ECS this time? I think we'll use an ECS where it makes sense. And I don't think it'll make sense yet for this. A lot of these games are going to be such short experiences that it's actually hard to know when we should have one. Can we make this async? Actually, I don't care. I'm thinking about this too much. Okay. So we just need to block input. In fact, actually, let's just do that now. I don't really see a problem with just blocking it now, right? So when you start fading it, we will just do set player input enabled false. And when you're done, this is the fade out tween. If you return from this, does it chain with that? How would you do that? Let me try this. I don't know. I don't think this will work. No, what? Hang on a second. Godot tween chain from callback. Find anything. I don't think you can. I don't know. Let's just try it. I messed something up. Yeah, that. Okay. Yeah, let's see. I don't think this is gonna work. Doesn't contain a definition for call next frame. I just screwed something up, didn't I? Yeah. Thankfully, that's pretty easy to fix. Okay, let's see. No, it doesn't work. Although, what is it waiting 4 at that point? Hmm. All right, well, the way we can definitely get this working is like this. Fade or like second tween. And then we just put the callback on here. Oh, wait. This was set to false. I meant to set this to true. Wait, so maybe this does work then? I don't know about needing to return it. How else would this know that it's done? It wouldn't. Is it working? I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. How is that working? I wonder if it's because of that return. Let's put a print here. This is working. Oh, right. We gotta put this in curly braces. Yeah, so it should only print that after it fades in. I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's good. Okay, so then do we need the return here? We probably do, because otherwise how would this know? But that means that there has to be code from the callable to check the response of it. No, it works no matter what. Okay, so let's try one last thing here. Fade screen true sets the duration to something short. Let's set this to 3 seconds. I guess this is because it's not synchronous, though. I don't understand that. No. Yeah, it gets hit immediately. Which, granted, is kind of fine because there's only a 0.3 second difference in time here. So it all comes down to, do we want to wait that entire time? So yeah, if we don't, we do something like second tween equals this, and then put this up here. So now it'll wait until the fade in is done, or the fade out, or whatever. I just mess up the terms, which is why I changed it to show scene. So now it won't print this out until after it's completely finished. So I cannot move right now, and now I can finally move. So is that better behavior? Because in one of these, you can move while the scene is transitioning still. It makes it feel maybe a tiny bit snappier, but remember, there's only 300 milliseconds. So it's not like it's a ton of time that you're waiting for. That was 3.3 seconds just to test this. I think I'm just going to put it back to what it was. I think that's fine. As long as we start fading this in. Yeah, what do I care? So we just won't put this in a callback. And I'll just say enable input immediately. Even though the screen is fading back in. It feels snappier. Yeah. It's not a problem at all. Yeah. And that way, too, your animation is where you kind of expect it to be. I think. Yeah, good enough. Okay, that's that. Let's go check that in. Okay, so what do we do here? Just add a transition? Is there anything else? Transition. Yep. Oh, that's still called canvas layer 2. That should be changed. Screen fade layer. There we go. All right, add screen transitions in the farming game. These are separate from the ones in main.cs for ease of coding. All right, so we're finally in the house. Hey, player. Problem is, we weren't supposed to get into the house at all. until you've done a certain thing. So I think we need to go back to game design for a little bit. If you try entering the house without watering 3 crops, it should give you a real tutorial. I'm not even certain it should do that. Yeah, I don't know about this. I want to just kind of draft some things out for a little bit. Farming game transition and the fever dream game. Okay, so question number 1. Should you have to do anything on your farm before going to sleep? So we don't have to require anything, but the player may enter their house and accidentally go to bed. We could just require a confirmation on going to sleep. Gardening alarm. It's a red alert. We're at tomato level. I don't like the idea of having the game tell you something when you try to enter the house. Maybe it should just require that you've spent enough energy, and simply walking or using tools will spend the energy. Yeah, I like that idea. Hey, those are gold. Fire truck rolls up. Never understood why C# and C++ are both still used today. I would look at it as sort of like, think of why like French and German are both still used today. They're just different languages. Now, I get that those are human languages, and that with technical languages, you could say one is strictly better than the other, but they use different paradigms of coding. So the other thing to consider is, just like with human languages, there's a sort of legacy system, which is all the speakers of those languages. So there's people who've built up expertise in one of the languages, code bases in one of the languages, or they have requirements based on the usage that they have. Hey, Temtic, thanks for the raid. And hey, Kenny, welcome in, everyone. Hey, Chuck. I see Godot and C#, me like. Yeah, I'm working on a game called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial, and it's a pretty cool idea. Let me show this. So this is the 3rd week of coding it so far, so it's still pretty rough around the edges. But if I change this and I change, hang on a second. I just added this earlier today, and I gotta find out where I put this. Yeah, here it is, starting state. Okay, so we want to do play normally. All right, check this out. So this is the game so far. Let me turn on the audio. And full screen this. Yeah, so we got a straightforward enough starting section. Teaches you some basic mechanics just with text. Like, you can double jump. We got some diamonds to collect. You can air dash. And then the game presents you with the first challenge. We got the flashing life bar now. Oh, nice, Tempting. Awesome. Where's GodotCon? Is it in the US or Europe? Amsterdam. Nice. Oh, what happened? Hang on a second. There is no player yet at this point. Drat. We were so close. All right, hold on. This is supposed to lead into the next section. I'm glad I actually tried this out. We do this in set current zone immediate. Setting player input enabled again. This shouldn't even have faded in, right? Make zone current is gonna set the player, right? Yes. Let's say we don't have a player. Where else do we call this? Dialogue start. Ah, I see. We can't start this yet then. Where do we set the starting state? Oh, in the zone setting. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, I gotta change that. Pixel after all app that applies filters. Quick example of AI. Oh, interesting. Yeah, but you still need some source artwork, right? Hey, Falric. Welcome back. Howdy, howdy, howdy. So Godot Con in Amsterdam. How big is Godot Con nowadays? Because I wonder if this is going to pick up a lot more steam. Are you listed as a speaker? There are more speakers than I expected. You might be. It's sold out. I'm in the showcase, but I'm not on the page yet. I see. Gotcha. Wow, very cool. Yeah, I hope it goes well. I hope you have fun. I can't imagine that you'd be going to this thing and you wouldn't have fun, or else you probably wouldn't be going to the convention in the first place. But yeah, very neat. Oh, hey, JetBrains is a sponsor. Didn't what's it called? Mega Crit Games just sponsor Godot? I guess they don't necessarily sponsor Godot Con. Maybe there are different sponsors for that. Yeah, very cool. Well, welcome in. Yeah, I am, like I said, still working on this. We want to make it so you can leave the second game you're about to get to. So yeah, I showed the platformer thing, and then you end up getting ejected from that world. You get ejected into a farming game. And there's one tiny problem here, which is this. Make zone current. Oh wait, we initialized this earlier. What am I talking about? That's our real problem. Yeah, this should not do initialize starting state here. This should be in make zone current. I don't like this. So what is this going to do? Either literally nothing in the case of free play, or it's going to start dialogue or start the opening cutscene, which will start the dialogue. But we only want to do this on the very first time you made this current. Well, we could just call a different function here. Yeah, I could just call a different function. Initialize starting state could be like that. Okay. Now from the farming game, and I don't like that. That takes like half a second. Now, after we set this to current, we should just do this farm zone dot initialize. Okay, let's try this. I think we still have to get through one of these things. Yeah, take care, Tempting. Totally understand. Thanks for the raid. Thanks for dropping everyone in here. We'll catch you next time. All right, so it's still got the platform music. It's going to run through the scene again, but now hopefully it won't break. Nice. Okay, good. How are you liking the new editor? Rider? I think it's pretty good. I like it a lot. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think you should just be tired enough before you go to sleep. Maybe you can even enter your house. Yeah, I like the farming theme. Wait till you hear the platforming theme. Oh, we should also make this a little bit quieter when you're in here. Okay, I like that idea. Make the music quieter when you're in your house. All right, how do we do that? So farming game has an audio system, but is it its own music? I don't recall. It is. Oh, well, that should be easy. Okay, so we'll call this music player. And in the farming game, we'll just go fetch that. private audio stream player, music player. Ready. Good. And then when you enter any house is when we want to do this. We could have an idea of like, is a zone indoors or not? But for now, how about we just do this? Set music level based on zone. This is kind of a dumb way of doing things. Okay, so if the zone is equal to the house interior, bool is inside. Then we do a tween on the music player. Create tween, tween.tween. We got to tween the volume dB. I always kind of hate doing this. Yeah. Will Tutorial Man have identifying features? No, they're just in the farming game because they're an NPC. So they don't transcend games. Is this your full-time job? Yeah, this is my full-time job. Moondrop Meadows. It's Moondrop. Wait, what is it? It's Moondrop. I forgot what the name of it is. Village. Because it was supposed to be kind of like Valley. And Moondrop after Stardew. All right, so we tween this in the platformer game somewhere. Volume dB. Yeah, here it is. And we want to go from what? A volume percentage. So we get its current volume and we go to something else. Yeah, hooray. All right, let's do that. Now get rid of that stuff. So this is going to be the music player. So we go from what it currently is to what it should be. So var outside volume percent equals, I don't know, 1. And inside volume percent is 0.7. We can muffle it a bit too. Well, I don't think that's worthwhile. So take whatever it currently is, and if you're inside, then do that. Yeah, let's try that out. So now we need to, yeah, that's actually already good. Let's try it. No longer just a content creator. Oh yeah, let me look at that in a sec. All right, let's change this main farming. Go to there. And then in the farm game, which is now the farm zone, our initial state should be free play. I should maybe make these be settings in just like one dedicated file somewhere that just sets everything all at once. Yeah, I'm gonna write that down too. Put all debug starting settings in one spot and then update the job command. All right, but let's see. We should have music. I want to go inside. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good, right? It fades out just a little bit when you're inside. Yeah, I like it. So is that fading at the right time? And is it doing it too quickly or too slowly? So this is set immediate. We should probably do this as soon as we fade in or out. That'd probably be a little bit better. Where's that? Fade. Here. Yeah, there, done. Big layoffs. I think there are going to be big layoffs, just a lot for a lot of companies for the rest of time. You're falling great. This isn't quite what I want. I think when it fades in is when I want to play this. So fade screen is here. So set music level based on zone. Let's set the duration to like 0.5. This will make it feel more obvious. I'm doing pretty well. It's been good. No STS2? I've been playing STS2. Yeah, I think this is good. And now we dig. Yeah. No one's here to stop us. No, what are you talking about? You're typing Lee just fine. All right. So what did I have to do now? Oh, yeah, that's right. We were planning this. So I like the idea of you needing to be low on energy before you can sleep. So you're discovering that there's actually no point in playing this game, which I think is very funny. So yeah, I like the idea that you need to be sleepy enough in order to sleep. We just need to make sure the game tells you something like, try planting some seeds, or try using your shovel and then planting seeds. Maybe that will tire you out. Something like that. So that's good. Then your character can give indications that they're tired. Then you go to bed and you're actually able to sleep. And that'll transport you to a new game. Yeah, and I wonder if we should even make a tune this Friday for when you fall asleep. Some like simple thing. That's it. We're launching FL Studio. I want to try this now, actually, just really fast. All right, new keyboard time. I got a new synth, which is actually a very old synth. And I got a whole bunch of presets in here. So let's find something. Actually, you know what? Let's just go with this. And just... yeah. Yeah. So that could be your like falling asleep tune. Great, done. I'm not actually gonna go export that, but I do want to get a clip to this section of the VOD for Friday. Where's copy at current time? There it is. Wait, that's not at the time. Share. How do you do this? It needs to not be live, I guess. Can I do it now? What? How do you... Maybe I need to wait for the VOD to be done? Or can I... hang on a second. Can I do it through here? I could just take a clip on Twitch at this point. Huh. I don't know how you do this. Okay, well, let's just get the uptime. The uptime is roughly 1 hour. So Friday, music day, make a going to sleep tune. At roughly 1 hour into my afternoon stream on Monday, I came up with something simple. 1 4 1. Yeah. Oh, take care, Leap Your Girl. Okay, so we have this sleeping thing here. There was one other thing I need to figure out, though, which is question number 2. So we got to code this, and I got to check in what I've done so far, too. So check in what I've done. I don't even remember what I've done, but we'll figure that out later. And then only, or like show a dialogue when you enter your bed without being tired enough, saying something like this. If you have burned enough energy, then allow you to sleep. Play a small tune. And fade out. I haven't tried Pika. And then we got to answer this question. So we'll do that when I get back from my break. answer the next question, which is, what should the fever dream game be like exactly? Because I had an idea, and I don't think that idea is very good anymore, so I want to revisit that. I'm going to take a break, though. Is it jump time? I don't know if that worked. What did it get as the caption there? Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello again. Close the game. Okay, so this next question, this new game. So here was the idea. Some of you heard me say this before, but we have the platformer game, and it's got a world like this. And we have the farming game, and it's got a world like this. They're both going to be fleshed out a little bit. We now need for you to go to sleep and then dream of the original game with farming mechanics almost. So like platforms can be carrots or something, and I don't know, the tutorial man can show up as a ghost in this world. In terms of, I thought about this a little bit. In terms of what the point of this game is, it's for the player to think they're in a dream, but recognize it as the original game, like work their way back up to this section so that they can go back and meet the architect again. And originally I talked about having a bridge erected over this gap, and you would have to like use your shovel to dig into it. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought that doesn't really line up for lore reasons. You're dreaming of this like made up game, but kind of not really. If you're able to go back into the architect's realm, then it means that you're actually in the original game. And like you're part game designer. So it makes sense that you can change the games a little bit, but it's in your sleep, so you probably don't have full control. And I kind of thought about this in terms of lucid dreaming in real life. Like some people can control their dreams, some people can control them fleetingly or very reliably. But for the people who've done it like once in their lives, they don't know how to reproduce it. They just seemingly had a superpower for that one night. And that was it. And they never learned how to control it. And yeah, they can't deny that it happened. So I kind of look at it this way too. Like your character is dreaming, but it's not really a dream. So I guess let's think about it this way. The simplest possible thing could just be that it's the platformer with farming elements. Maybe seeds are falling from the sky, the platforms are carrots, and the tutorial man is bothering you with endless dialogue. Well, no, so as a player and I guess as the character, you probably want to go back to the architect because they put you in the farming game. So your goal is probably already going to be to get up here. This is, by the way, why I want to playtest this game so badly, because when people get out of the farming game and end up back here and they're like, what is going on again? So they'd probably say like, I'm going to go back to where I was. So I think it should resemble this game pretty closely. And yeah, maybe you have another ability or something you can do. Actually, maybe the diamonds are replaced with carrots. That could be kind of interesting. Or strawberries. I guess you're growing strawberries in that other game. Okay, I like this idea. There's nothing wrong with this, and there's still plenty of opportunity to do something funny or unusual here. There was something I was going to add to that, though. There's a but. What is the but? Oh, yeah, lore reasons. Yeah, so like, what's going on from a lore perspective? You're back in the original game due to a dream? Is the dream a glitch? And how is the game modified? I think it's your latent abilities showing themselves. I mean, I don't know about Fang level being a thing to like differentiate people. I think probably most engineers can go work at a Fang company, and it's just a matter of like how much did you study and prepare. But I guess it's kind of the same way that I think almost anyone could do a doctorate, for example, and it's just a matter of like how devoted to it are you going to be? Because a lot of it just takes time. Yeah, there's some amount of inherent ability you need to be able to learn this stuff, but I don't think it's like beyond the realm of most people. Architect's Realm was the farm as a side scroller. Well, so to be clear here, this is different from the Architect's Realm. When you fall down, you're actually going through a glitch from the game world into the real world. So yeah, I think we like reskin the whole world for a second time through this game, and the diamonds turn into strawberries or something, and we put in some other like farming things, and maybe I don't know what we do exactly in terms of, yeah, I don't know what we do. Maybe we have some like crops growing out of the ground or something. Okay, so I just need to answer these questions. So I think we keep this simple then. So the game itself can be the platformer. In which sprite are you? I guess you have to be the platforming sprite again, right? You're the platforming character again. Maybe you have some question mark emojis again. Diamonds turn into carrots or strawberries. Tutorial man is like yapping to himself somewhere. The text saying how to jump gets garbled and unreadable. Do you get to the right side this time? No, you end up in the architect's realm again. Like, you're exploiting the glitch in this game another time. And then the architects are going to transport you back to the farming game. Although, I guess it doesn't have to be the farming game. There are some unanswered questions here. I wonder if there are nightmares. We're not going to do anything too spooky here. Yeah, so I have this written down somewhere over here. Where is it? How are you able to go to the real world through that broken world, though? It's not really a new game, though. It's not a new game, yeah. It's actually the first game that you transported yourself to and then adapted slightly. How are you able to go to the real world through that broken world? So yeah, you're back in the original game. I think it's that... Yeah. There's a glitch in the farming game. Actually, it doesn't have to be a glitch in the farming game. It's just your latent abilities manifesting themselves through exhaustion while farming. Which got you back to the first game. Then the glitch in the first game is still present, even though you papered over the world's presentation. All right, why can't you do this to make it back to the architect at any point? We can say that it's through dreaming and it's sort of like lucid dreaming. And then also, why does the character send you back to the farming world afterward? Where's that? Teleporting you to new games due to a glitch? He sends you to game 1 and then game 2 and then back to game 2. But it's supposed to be random. We could get to another game like the space shooter, then back to the farm where you harvest the crops. That is true. I hadn't thought of that. That would play better into the randomness too. But then we gotta make a whole other game in the next like week. I mean, we could make it a quick game. They're kind of interchangeable in that way. But yeah, that's a pretty interesting idea. Let's load up this document again. Close out all these other things. So this stuff is fine. I feel like this is answered. The thing I haven't answered is this question. Why can't you just dream in any world to make it back to the architect? I guess there's no real need. You're breaking the tutorials to get back. And then is it a problem that the architect sends you back to the farming game? So we don't have to go back to the farming game immediately. Oh, but it does kick off another part of the story. Well, I guess we're not delaying it by a long amount of time. Spend enough time in the next world so your crops matured. You could as well be teleported into a random game than back to the farm. Yeah, although time travels faster in the game worlds than in the real world. So even though you'd only been gone for a little bit, part of the reason of sending you back immediately was for you to be like, oh man, a ton of time has passed. And this is sort of like, okay, so a lot of movies do this thing where they're like, the countdown is 3 minutes, we're running out of time. And then like 10 minutes of screen time happen. And then the timer is at like 10 seconds remaining. And you're like, wait a second, what? They said we had 3 minutes. Like, how did 10 minutes pass in the theater? And that it was only 2 minutes and 50 seconds of the thing. And it feels a little bit sloppy, but you're like, all right, well, suspension of disbelief. I don't want that to happen in the wrong direction in the game where like my plan is that time travels faster in the game. So if we sent you to another game first and that game lasted for like 3 real life minutes, then you got back to the farming game and the guy said, it's been weeks. You may feel the same way you may feel like the action movie thing written above. So I think we should send you back. Also, we only really have one question, and we could just answer this anyway with a pretty cop-out answer. Like, the idea was that the architect can only send you to a random game. And he's made, I don't know, like 50 games or something. There is a 2% chance, even if we don't have any like special reason, that you end up in the same game twice in a row. Or like the first time and the second time at least. Otherwise, there's a more than 50% chance because you could count the one prior and the one next. But yeah, like you went to game one, then you went to game two, then you went to game two again. That's possible. It just feels like a cop out. Ever make anything with 2D physics? Can really get ideas rolling? Not any like fully fledged game, no. Okay, so option one, we don't have to go back to the farming game immediately. I wanted to have the player go back there because it would show that time travels faster. It's not super important to the plot though. I also wanted the player to meet Sidekick sooner rather than later. We could have like years pass. Option two, we have the player go to another game first. Option three, we have the player meet Sidekick in the other game. I think there should be continuity. This is probably a bad idea. It's already made all of the mechanics of the farming game. Is the architect some sadistic type of guy trapping the player in different games? No, it's a much more heartwarming story than that. So the architect is just bad at making video games. So there are these like broken tutorials and glitches, and you keep finding your way out of them and into the architect's realm. And at first the architect's just like, I don't want to see you, get out of here. And they keep teleporting you into different games, but not out of sadism. It's out of them having a fear of being mocked because other video gamers, not gamers, sorry, other characters have made it out of their worlds only to be like, this game sucked. Like, why are you putting me back in this game? So the architect is kind of defensive, but you as a character find the games fun because it's fun for you to break them. And this heartens the architect. and lets them know that like you're not an enemy. And eventually you start to work with them to like help the world. Hey, Roa. So I gotta figure this out. Also, I don't know if I explicitly said hi, thirsty drink, but hi. Oh, and then option 4, what am I talking about? Option 4 is just we just say it was dumb luck that sent you back to the same game twice. It's not even that crazy. You consider that there may only be 100 or 1,000 games. A 1% or an 0.1% chance isn't like unheard of. It's not impossible. I mean, even a 1 out of a trillion or something isn't impossible. It's just much less plausible for a storyline. Like, this is what I was kind of talking about. I feel like stories can be undermined by things that happen in real life. Like I was saying this the other day, how often do you forget something? It's like very frequently, right? Everybody forgets things. And yet, if you had a story like a critical plot point, like, oh, I just forgot to bring my forms, so I made it to the government agency and I couldn't fill them out, so now I couldn't leave the country, so now none of the rest of the story could happen or something. It's like, well, that's boring and bad. Likewise, if you had a character who's, I don't know, like a gambler or something, and they go and play poker and they just get like a royal flush every single time, you'd be like, yeah, that's possible. You could do that. Like, probability allows for that to happen, but it'd be incredibly unlikely. So it's kind of a bad way to write a story. This is not such a critical point, and there wouldn't be so many games, and the player probably wouldn't think about this too much. And I think I'm probably belaboring this, and I think we just stick to the original plan. But I'd love to have at least an explanation for why this is the case. Why did we even need this to happen? That's fine. Where's this stuff? The architect thinks that they're picking games, which games the characters go to, and always tries sending them back to their home world. However, a glitch is making them go to random worlds. It just so happens that no agents have worked their way out of 2 worlds yet. Wait a second, though. Then nor can Sidekick have done that, right? Would have been in one other game and then ended up in this one? Yeah. We got to change that. We got to change that for sure. Where is this written down? Somewhere. The 4th world. It can't be the 4th world. Yeah. That's where I wrote this down. The first wasn't so bad. Yeah, because if they had gotten out, then the architect would recognize that they're not their own sprites anymore. They had, then the architect would see that they're not their same sprites anymore. Wait a second, then. He'd be surprised if you got out of the farming game, but you haven't yet. This could be the plot point. Yeah. Makes the game addicting if you want to look at that for inspiration. Oh, so to be clear here, there are 3 worlds that I'm talking about. There's the real life. This is where you and I live, right? Then there's the architect's realm, which to the architect is their real life. And then there's the game worlds. So I wasn't talking about real life to any of these. I was talking about the architect. Like 1 minute here would be like, I don't know, like 5 days in the game world. And in real life, it might be like 5 minutes or something. I don't know. So that there will be some time dilation in kind of both directions. But this to any of these did not matter to me so much. That is normal game pacing that we can figure out. It was this stuff that I was wondering about. Is this Skeleseller? Or are you working on another project? This is another project, yeah. This is Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. So, you look like a different character when you enter. I gotta... Doesn't know that he's actually teleporting you to new games. He would after the farming game. Huh. Hadn't thought of this. Yeah, I hadn't thought of this. This changes everything. Oh, it's a massive problem that I hadn't thought of until now. If the architect teleports you to random worlds and you keep breaking out but keeping your sprite, then the architect would recognize immediately that you're getting sent to a different game. So it wouldn't be a surprise to him when that happens. 7 months is way too few. Thanks, Zoe. Thanks for the resub. Do you and your boyfriend frequently watch streams together? I'm just curious. Because I've been seeing your boyfriend here more frequently. And I don't know if it's that you urged him to come here or what. Because I've rarely seen this happen, that like a couple would watch me only because the stream is not very appealing to individual people all the time. He's here more often than I am. Oh wow, okay, yeah. Question is, when they respawn, if they're still the same person or are they someone new every time? So here's the thing. The way that this works is the architect like designed the games and then sent characters to those games. Most never break out. Of the ones that have, none have broken out a second time. So every single time, what's happening is, imagine if this were like Zelda, right? The architect sends Link into the game, and then Link breaks out as Link. And now the architect sends Link into what the architect thinks is the same game, but it's actually Mario Kart. Now Link is Mario. So if Mario made it out, the architect would know that something is wrong and that they're not sending them back into the game Zelda. Sent could be an overloaded word. Link respawns. Well, so in that case, it's respawning in a game. The architect doesn't actually have insight into the games. Yeah. I see. Gotcha. So yeah. So does the architect at some point say that he keeps seeing you more often? I gotta figure this part out. Yeah. Hey Kyle, usually watch the VODs in the background while I work on my own game. You're helping immensely with my own game dev progress. Nice. Did you fully release it? Yeah, I fully released it. It is on Steam now. It has been out for more than a month. You can try it out if you want. Yeah. All right. So I got to think about this a little bit more. So it's not a story issue for them to recognize that you're not yourself. It might intrigue them, but not enough to act yet until the third time you break out, which could be after several other sub games. Yeah, I like that idea. So what is their reaction to this? Where do I have this written down? Where is it? Ah, here it is. Yeah, wait, I just want to know what's going on. So if they said, how are you back here? How are you back here? Like, they're still defensive. They don't want you to be here. But they'd be incredibly surprised because this never would have happened before. And you would look like a farming character. Hmm. I don't know. I think this is really tough. All right. Man, I want this to be cohesive. There are two things that aren't sitting right. I don't think they're unsolvable problems. I think the two main problems are I don't think it's incredibly convincing that you ended up in the farming game again out of just pure chance. Maybe you can steer which games you go to. Maybe that's part of your powers. But wait a second. If they've never broken out of games again, hang on. Maybe I can change this rule. The architect thinks that they're picking which games characters go to. Always tries sending them back to their home world. Okay, I see. Send everyone to a world that no one returns from. Okay, so the architect. I think this is the part I was missing. If the architect had been picking their home worlds, they'd just break out again. Wait a second. So that's a reason why they would think that they're sending them to a different world. God, I've written like 2 lines of dialogue in the game and there's already a problem. I mean, the architect's dialogue is not the problem. The characters would just break out again. So then he is sending you to a random world. So then this has to be what I read. The architect could pick. They could probably send everyone to a world that no one returns from. It'd be clogged with NPCs. Glitch so that people can choose their own games. But wait, the architect. Oh, man. I gotta reread this. Yeah, I'm not certain. I'm not certain I want to send the character to another game. So wait, he made you as a platformer character. He sends you to the platformer. You come back as a platformer character. He sends you into the farming game. You then come back as the platformer character. He'd be very confused. That's a slightly different direction we could take Sorrow, but it's I really like the direction I had planned and I just need to work this stuff out. I gotta look at another document on top of this or another copy of this with the story beats. Man. All right, so eventually the architect hears you out for long enough to know that you enjoy the games. Maybe that's even why you made it back so quickly. Player probably want to know who the architect is, what their deal is. Can't stay in the real world. They have to send you back to your game world. even if they want to be able to answer more of your questions. From their point of view, it shouldn't take you too long since you've already broken out of your own game world so many times. No, that's not possible anymore. The word "your" sticks in your mind because you're not actually going back to your world. This point is a rescue sidekick. Boy, he could send you back to... Yeah, that's the... Oh, darn it. It's so tough. Also, if the architect could pick, then when they befriend you, they could just keep sending you back to a world that you know how to break out of. Maybe they know that they're sending you to a new world and it's not a surprise. Okay, that could work. Maybe they know that they're sending you to a random world due to a glitch. So it's not a surprise if you come back as someone else. So you don't design the farming world. Excuse me, the architect designed all of these games. And he had a game in mind for each character, but rarely were they the games that these characters wanted to play, which is why they turn into basically zombies. The thing I got to figure out is, does this break anything? Because this is very interesting, but I might break some other idea. A game in mind for each soul, but if it's based on them, then they're really the ones who designed it. No, these are worlds that would have like, hundreds of different people in them. So it can't be that they were designed by all 700 of those people or something. It's not like there's just one character in each of these games. I'm not saying the direction you're talking about couldn't work. There are some story themes here that are really important for me to tie together. And I like what those story themes are. So let me read this again. So the architect makes bad games. He lacks confidence and passion. You cycle through playing 2 to 3 games, breaking out of them, finding the architect, getting teleported to new games. Each time they're surprised at how quickly you're doing this. Doesn't know that he's teleporting you to new games. So he's got to know, right? I got to like rewrite this whole thing. Let me just copy the entirety of this. Yeah. Revisiting all of the story beats. Okay, let's try this out. So he does know this. He's also never seen the same character twice because he doesn't know that those agents are becoming NPCs. Or they're having fun in the games they ended up in. The reason why they're teleporting you out in the first place is because they believe you're there to mock them. In one of those games, you encounter Sidekick. They mention that as long as they've been alive. They mention that they've seen another game world. So they know there's some way out of this one too. They need help leaving this one and feel themselves dwindling in some way. Yeah, this is more solid. Hey, Mox, could the architect maybe just not recognize you the second time fast enough? The thing is, I need the real life player to be able to recognize a character. So like if you look at Link in the original like Legend of Zelda, and let's just do this, Legend of Zelda NES. So if you look at this character and you look at this character, you can tell they're the same even though they're totally different games. I mean, in this case, they're the same series, so like it's obvious that they're supposed to be the same. But you as a player know that. So what I'm saying is we also need to make sure that the character you're playing as, you can tell as a player that they're the same. So it's reasonable the architect could also tell that they're the same. Although we could paper over that pretty easily. Could just say it's magic or something. I don't know. Come back to all those worlds after a long time to talk to the NPCs. Like you found a way to travel to another game. Yeah, the architect eventually fixes their glitch, and then you have to go rescue the NPCs by sending them into better games for them. So yeah, let's keep reading through this because I think so far we're okay. You solve a small puzzle and get separated to different games. So this is the case because you're in different portals. Yeah. So far, so good. Eventually, the architect hears you out for long enough to know that you enjoy the games, and maybe that's even why you made it back so quickly, although you wouldn't know that it's fast. Architect is hardened by this. They inform you that you can't stay in the real world for too long and have to send you back. So this to your game part doesn't make any sense. They have to send you back to a game world. This whole, from your point of view, maybe they even wish you luck. Wouldn't they be able to tell you? They don't know how their worlds are broken, maybe. They probably don't know how their worlds are broken to be able to help you ahead of time. So this doesn't matter. Player's goal at this point is rescue Sidekick, which is why they want to go back into the games. Also, they were just told they'll basically die if they stay here. Player doesn't know how many agents are out there. If they did, maybe they'd want to rescue them all. Also, this is how the architect can help you to send you to other games since you can't necessarily travel to them yourself unless there's a portal. At this point, they'd still hate the other game characters. They don't know that those characters are husks of themselves. You go through another game only to find your way out. You ask the architect about the your world bit, so this wouldn't happen anymore. They thought they were returning you to your own world. It explains why it's been taking you varying amounts of time. They say they'll look into the glitch. So they would just say that they've been looking into the glitch. Yeah. About why you're being sent to different worlds. They say that it's a glitch that they haven't been able to figure out yet. And that they put it on hold. Wait, why do you care though? Why should they start looking into this now? Because they want you here? Maybe because they like you and haven't had company, that they try to help fix the glitch so that you can make it back faster. Why are you able to stay in this world across? I don't know, I guess you have to go back to a game to get your identity back or something. Music can help with this. I think a lot of times music could help with this, but I mean, it's going to be your same player throughout the entire game. And if we have, let's say, like 14 different sub games, I don't want it being the same motif for all of them because the games would be drastically different games. But yeah, if we had like the same character in these 4 games and then the same character in these 3 and then these 2, I think doing that would be a good idea. All right, you go through another few games before finding Sidekick. This time they're practically an NPC with a little agency they have. They join you in your jailbreak from this world. You bring them to the architect. The architect may need help diagnosing what's wrong since they haven't ever seen agents show up more than one time other than you. You mention that you've seen other hollow characters. The architect explains that he designed them all with personalities and maybe remarks that some use those personalities to complain about the games. The rare few who made it here only mocked him for his broken tutorials. He always struggled with tutorials. Your time is running out, and he has to teleport you mid-explanation. Okay. All good so far. No, some may have just found their current games fun enough to remain there as agents. All right, you get teleported into different games since the glitch hasn't been fixed yet. You go through another few games before finding another agent. This is their second world, and they're having a blast with something unrelated to the tutorial. Yep. Maybe it's just playing the part of the game that was developed. You eventually report this to the architect. You connect all the dots and realize it's all about fun, and it's why Sidekick felt like a husk. While the architect was originally happy just to know that people were having fun, he now realizes that this isn't about him. Architect maybe talks about fixing games, but player says that the games are fine. We just need to find suitable games for each character, yeah. You go back into the games and try to get the NPCs to join you, but they don't care. They don't have agency anyway. They just keep repeating the same lines. Wait, so this is the 3rd time, not the 2nd time, right? Yeah. Kinda. You bring them the architect. They just fixed the glitch with the teleporter. Since Sidekick still has an agency, they report on which game they'd like to go to. You join them there and see them get better almost immediately. Yeah, I think this is awesome. You still want to rescue NPCs but don't know how. You go through games to try to get back to the architect. He says he's been thinking about it and gives you a list of their names and descriptions. At this point, he gives you a choice. He said you've already done so much, so you can stop here if you want. And you get the multiple ending stuff. Okay, I think this is pretty solid. I think it's fixed. So let's copy all this back into the document. Goodness. So paste this here. Hopefully that worked. Okay, so this is wrong. The architect knows that they're sending you to random game worlds due to a glitch in their system. Wait a second, though. Maybe it's only... Wait. This is how you come up with your game stories. I mean, most of the games I make don't have a story. Like Skeleton Seller had a very small one. And for that, yeah, we storyboarded and figured things out. But there wasn't a lot of like lore to keep consistent. It was more about the game design. I generally have not liked story-driven games. And even this, while it has a story, and I do like a lot of the elements of the story, it's not super focused on the story, I'd say. Would you say you enjoy the story or design part of game dev more? Would you ever choose to be a producer rather than a main developer? I like this process, but I also like the development process too. Pretty much anything that lets me be creative, I think I enjoy. I really value creativity. Okay, so there was a problem that I had with this though, which is why couldn't the architect have thought that they were sending you to the same game? I have all the stories stored in my noggin. I think it's worth writing them down because you'll find that you like certain ideas and then a month later you might forget them because you just stop thinking about them as often. And then you're like, whoa, if only I'd written that down. So why couldn't they have thought that they were sending you to the same game? I guess because then they'd have to be surprised when you show up as a new character. Wait, but they'd be surprised anyway. Because no one has ever done that before. Okay, so maybe someone has done it before? Yeah, this is very tough. The reason why they're teleporting you out in the first place is because they believe you're there to mock them. I want you to stay back in your own world. This should say in the game world. Yeah, maybe once you've shown up enough times that you pique their interest. Is this even important to the story, whether or not they think they're sending you to the right world? Also, how do we explain this stuff? If it's not apparent to the player, then it might as well just not be part of the story. Like, there are only a few options. If something doesn't make sense to a consumer, it's either like option one, they ignore it. Maybe it wasn't egregious, or maybe they could suspend their disbelief. Option two, they get frustrated by it. Maybe they think it was a plot hole. Option three, they seek knowledge about it. Or maybe they thought they missed something. Yeah, so I think this is where, as a producer, you have to think of like, do I explain everything? Do I leave things open to interpretation? Currently making it into a full-time project. The others just kind of float around for a bit, and then I recall at some point, think about what I want to keep or change. No, that's good. Yeah, yeah. If nothing's wrong, you don't necessarily have to change it. Just sometimes I work on music ideas, and then a week later I'm like, oh, what were those chords I used, or what was the melody supposed to be like? And it's no longer rattling around up there. That's why I try to write things down or record them. So I don't think we need to explain everything, but I think we need to avoid this, which is that someone gets frustrated by it. I think that's the only problem. I think if you write any story or make a movie or a TV show and the goal was not to frustrate people, and the only time I can think your goal is to frustrate people is with like certain characters. Like maybe they're just jerks. And yeah, the goal is to frustrate the consumer by that character, but not probably with your whole production. It's usually make them feel something, either joy or depression or something, horror, some emotion. I rewatched Requiem for a Dream, and I skipped through parts of it because I remember a lot of the movie. I remember it being very impactful when I first watched it, though. It's just a grim movie. And like the creator of that movie must have thought, I want to make a grim movie. Well, actually, I think it was based on a book. So I am assuming the creator of the book thought that, and the creator of the movie probably thought, oh, the book was really good. I'd like to enhance those emotions for the viewer. Accidentally create the soundtracks. That's pretty good. All right, well, it sounds like you've got a pretty good memory then. All right, so I don't think this matters too much. I think that attributing it to a glitch that the architect knows about is totally fine. I need another tab open here. Where is... Yeah, how are you back here? I think I like this. Or just you again. Indicating that they recognize you but are surprised to see you. Okay, this is my new favorite now. There is one cool thing that we're forgoing here. We leave behind, which is the architect saying your world, even though you know that it's not. Then you have to clarify it. However, many IRL minutes would have passed such that player would have to say, you said your world last time. I'm going to different worlds. It'd be obvious. Yeah, this is stupid. That's why this is probably stupid. Because they know that they're not sending you back to your world. So it can't be a surprise to them. That's it. That's the answer. Great. Hey, Yaper Caper. Excited to see the new broken tutorial stuff since last time. I haven't done a lot. And part of it is I've been a little bit stuck on design. I think I've finally moved through this, so I need to just record everything now. Yeah, this is a little bit challenging though. Due to a glitch in their system. So, okay. So rationale. If they didn't know this, then they would be very surprised when you showed up with a different sprite. We could mitigate this by saying that this has happened before. No, we couldn't mitigate it like that. Since it would clarify that they're not actually sending you to a specific game world. That surprise would likely lead to them talking to you much sooner. It could still work as a plot point. Like, how are you back here? Why do you look different? You can't stay, that sort of thing. It could work as a plot point. Why do you look different? But then the defensiveness doesn't make as much sense. It still makes sense. This would be kind of hard to put myself in their shoes. Let me think about this. Someone's being a jerk to me, but then they show up at my door and they look like pixel art in real life. I'd be like, okay, you might have been a jerk, but I've never seen this before. Like, what are you doing? How did this happen? Yeah, I'd probably be surprised. But I wouldn't forget that they were a jerk to me. Now, in this case, your player's not a jerk to the architect, but other ones were. So they're on guard. So this is more like, I guess, a door-to-door salesman comes to your door and you're like, oh, another one of these. Then they're like, here's $1 million. You'd be like, oh, okay. I guess this is not like the other door-to-door salespeople. Hey, Letitia. I'm doing pretty well. I'm going to go on crazy and use a whiteboard, a digital whiteboard. Oh, yeah, I do not do things visually. I am all about text. Yeah, but maybe they're not defensive here. You frequently reread your notes? I don't often reread them. In a case like this is the design document, so I am rereading it. But in a lot of cases, I write them just to help retain the memory for later, and sometimes to help with troubleshooting later. What type of keyboard am I using? Hey, Dennis, this is a Korn keyboard. There's some more information if you want to check it out. Yeah, okay, so wait. Then maybe this is the plot point, though? I hadn't thought about this either. Okay, so rework all of this. You use Notebook LM? No, I haven't. Okay, so I should examine this angle. The architect thinks they're sending characters back to their own world. When you appear as a new character, it's clear to them that this isn't happening. Yeah. I do use Obsidian. I have a ton of notes in Obsidian. And I make all those notes public. Well, most of them public. But yeah, so if you want to check out any of the new stuff I've done in Godot, like I've been putting all this over here. We even wrote down all the physics interpolation stuff I'm going to have to do for this too. Clear to them that this isn't happening, isn't what's happening. What did I have written here? Yeah, I gotta put this here too. How are you back here? Why do you look different? I gotta take another break. Yeah. Oh man. All right. I kind of want to keep going for like another hour here. Yeah. Yeah. Let me take a break. I'll be back in a little bit. Is it jump time? What is this thing hearing? It's jump time. Okay, hello again. Close the game. Okay, thanks for sending characters back to their own world. When you appear as a new character, it's clear to them this isn't happening. How are you back here? Why do you look so different? So this angle will work. There are a couple of small problems. One, this changes the IRL player's perception of the architect much more rapidly. They start as a seemingly menacing character and quickly become intrigued by you. There's another problem here, which is that, well, I guess the other problem is we could mitigate this by sending you through other game worlds first. God. Hmm. Yeah, I think the angle could work. I just don't think it's as convincing. Yeah. Okay. Let's try to wrap this up because I want to get back to coding if I can, if I have the energy. All right. So you break out of them, find the archetype, get teleported into new games. So you break out of the platform, you break out of the farming game, you break out of the next game. You encounter Sidekick very early on. Yeah, I think we stick to the original plan. I'm not frustrated. I think this is an interesting set of problems to solve. You know, there's one of the, with almost every creative endeavor, I think there's a fork you hit in a path where you have option A and option B, and both are viable. So you don't know how to pick. Like option A could be something like the architect is evil. I'm just making something up here. And option B could be the architect is misunderstood. So you can now branch from there and figure out how your story would go. And neither has an obvious problem and neither has some like amazing benefit to it. But you have to pick one in the end. You could maybe try them both and test them out with different audiences if you've got the resources or you have some way of like mocking it up. But yeah, in this case, it's like, okay, I have a couple different story ideas for how this could play out. I like what I came up with already. There is one other thing we need to consider now. When it's just a story on paper, it's very easy to change. But now we've already started writing some code. Now, granted, that wasn't a lot. If I were to scrap the entire project and start again, I would lose, what, 2 weeks, right? Because that's how long I've spent so far. So, and I wouldn't scrap the whole thing. We could probably still use a lot of the platformer stuff. But I like the idea of going from a platformer to a farming game. I like that the farming game is slow enough paced where you'd expect to find NPCs that you go and talk to. And that's where you can develop the story about Sidekick. Yeah. I think we need to stick with what we have. Excuse me. I don't think that means that we have like, you know, hindsight is 2020, but we're not at the point of hindsight just yet. I can't say like this definitely worked and here's why it worked. It's just here's why I think it works. So let's write all that down. And maybe I should even write down that thought I just had, which is my overall conclusion is that several different paths will work. But the one I have now is what's canon in my head. So we may as well move forward with that. Plus, I already started with the opening games and want to get a checkpoint ready. Okay, so this is the part we got to rework, right? So the architect knows that they're sending you to a random game, sending you to random game worlds due to a glitch in their system. Note, we can still have them send you to your... Or, actually, maybe that's part of what caused this problem. We could even have it be a... as designed. Even have it be a story point that the architect... Maybe it's not even a glitch. Maybe when they make the game, you're in it. And that's... Okay, hold on. This might be much stronger. Maybe this isn't even due to a glitch. Yeah, I know I'm just ignoring what I wrote here about the overall conclusion. Maybe this isn't even due to a glitch though. Maybe when they make a game, they make it with characters that they designed. When one breaks out, all they can do is send them back to a game world. It isn't until they befriend you that they work on a project to allow sending a character to a specific world. Yeah. Okay. I like that idea. So they would know, they'd have knowledge that they're not sending you back to a specific game. And they would also never have tried to fix this because why would they? So it's not just, oh yeah, there was a glitch. I never figured it out. Because that also makes them have to recognize that they're bad at this. They're not bad at this. This is the perfect thing. This is the greatest thing I've ever come up with. It's not the greatest, but I do like this a lot. So let's write this down. So the architect knows that. So this is not, I guess, do they know that? They don't have to know that this is the case. But again, when they see you as a different sprite, it would be very obvious to them then. Okay, hold on though. Then it would be news to them regardless, right? Unless they know that they'd have to know that they're like sending you into a specific game. Like if the architect sent you into the farming game and knew that it was the farming game, then when you show up as a farmer, they're like, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know how you broke out of the game, but I've seen people do that before. Hmm. Maybe we could mitigate this by having other characters break out of several worlds. That way the architect isn't surprised at all. Yeah, that would work. Which means that we change it so that Sidekick has broken out of the world a couple of times. Like they're actually pretty smart, which makes you want to help them. Yeah, I like that better too. This is working pretty well. We had to fix a bunch of things though. So yeah, I gotta fix the rules of the world, fix the story beats, and then fix the opening. Let's start with the rules. They know that they're sending you to random game worlds. They simply hadn't developed anything to all right, so how you get put in game worlds? The architect bundles all characters they've designed into a game initially. This is how they pick your starting game. Hey, Pressel. So rationale. They part of the story is that you need to find the correct game and that the game maker doesn't know what's best for the players. Part of the, not even the message, part of the overall, sorry, the story, the overall message is you need to find the correct game for you. So the architect is not the arbiter of fun, even though they have created fun worlds. Okay, so the architect knows they're sending you into random game worlds. Rationale, if they didn't know this, they would be very surprised when you showed up with a different sprite, since it would clarify. This is also why other characters must have broken out of more than one game so that the architect isn't surprised to see you there with another sprite. Yeah. Okay, delete that. All right, what else? They think they're picking which games characters go to. Always try sending them back. Let's just make them go to random ones. Just happens no word. None of them made out of 2. When they teleport you from their realm. And the architect never tried developing something to send you to a specific world. Rationale, they don't like the characters who make it back. So they have no reason to want to do this. From their point of view, the characters eventually stop bothering them, which unbeknownst to them is due to either the characters becoming NPCs or them having fun and remaining as agents. All right, what else do we have? Architect could pay. They probably send everyone to a world no one returns from. That's not even a choice now. Befriend you, they could keep sending you back to a world that you know how to break out of. Yes, that's another important part. There. Good, and the glitch needs to get fixed so that people can choose their own games. Yeah, and then this allows the plot point of the architect working on a fix. You can eventually get NPCs back to games that they'll enjoy. So delete all this. Okay, I think we're done with that. Now let's read this again. And then, so the rules of the world, I think we're finished with. I'm going to go look at story beats. Never seen the same character twice. No, that's not true. He has seen the same character more than once before. Doesn't know that those agents are becoming NPCs. Reason why they're teleporting you in the first place is they believe you're there to mock them. One of those games. You mean this? Yep, this is all fine. Eventually, they hear you out for long enough to know that you enjoy games. Sounds good. Architects are hurt by this. They important you can't stay in the real world. I send you back to the game worlds. Good. Sounds good so far. Go through another game only to find your way out. You ask the architect why you're being sent to different worlds. Say it's a glitch. They don't say it's a glitch. Maybe they say that they just never developed a way to send characters to specific worlds. They just bundle characters into the games where they belong and then typically don't have to worry much about reassignment. Yeah, this part's a little hazy still. But that's something we can still work on later. All right, you go through another few games before finding Sidekick again. Only this time, they're practically an NPC. With what little agency they have, they join you in your jailbreak from this world. You bring them to the architect. Architect may need help diagnose. Man, this is going to be so cool to write. Because it's going to be a mixture of lucid thought and then this, like, hey, isn't the weather nice out today? Like, just random NPC lines. They're going to be like, oh no, they're losing it. Yeah. Okay, architect explains that he designed them all with personalities. Maybe remarks that they use some. Yep. Sidekick was bored by the architect's games. Wait a second, though. That would mean that Sidekick's kind of a jerk, right? No, not really. They just never got a chance to explain. No, Sidekick is probably not a jerk who insulted the architect. The architect probably just teleported them out, just like they did with you after the first platformer. So there was no time for an explanation. So the Sidekick should only have made it out of like 2 worlds. Yeah. Okay. This is the 3rd world I've seen. The first wasn't so bad. The first was terrible. The second wasn't so bad. Yeah. Maybe just the first 2 were okay. Hey, Magnus. But here's just beautiful town. Happy Monday. You know, I've been paying attention to where the capital O is in your name, but I don't know if it's moved. Probably has, because you said that you've been modifying it. Okay, this is their 3rd game. Oh no, this is their 2nd game, and they're having a blast. So what games? Go back to find this. All right. Where's the thing about the glitch being fixed? Yeah, they've developed a targeted teleporter for you to try out. Okay, good. Based on weekdays, just drop it on weekends. Oh yeah, because you have 5. Could also rename to have 7. I'm guessing Magnus with 7 O's isn't taken. Okay, this is all good. So now we're done with this too. And now I just have the opening to go look at. And not much actually really needs to change here because we're already at this portion. So you dream that night, it's interactive, you're back in the platformer, enemies are the annoying tutorial man, your attacks shoot crops, background of the mix of the games, blah, blah, blah. Goals to get back to the Long Fall, which is now a challenge somehow, since this is the first awakening of player as the architect, so the game now has some difficulty. You fall down and down, piano music plays, it's sparse and eerie. You approach the door with caution, the light is on this time, but no one is there. There are a lot of screens and computers in this room, reams of papers on the floor, light flicks off, you hear footsteps, screens dimly illuminate the room. You say, wait, I just want to know what's going on. Yeah, I like you again. Spell hits you, screen fades to black. You wake up back in the farming game. So in this case, it's just that, yeah, you got teleported by sheer chance back to the first game. Yeah. Hey, Crimson, welcome in. Thanks for the raid. How's it going? How goes Friendslop? Hey, Miyazaki. We are working on Stuck in a Broken tutorial here. I've got a short FAQ there. I can show off the game briefly. Hang on a second before I do this. Let me make sure. And I haven't even checked this in. God, there's so much stuff to do. Okay, let's go and show this off. So zone farm. I gotta consolidate this in one location. I'll write this down. Consolidate all of the starting flags in one location. Main.cs has one. The farming zone has another. That link is longer than the FAQ. Glad to hear you're doing well. Yeah, things are going pretty well. All right, so let me show this. This is Stuck in a Broken tutorial. I'm going to make this demo pretty fast. So you start out, you're in a tutorial, right? Press A to jump. So you can go explore this little platformer world. You can just follow the prompts here. You know, press A to double jump. You get an air dash. We make our way over here. You get this little section, try to collect all the diamonds, but it's not possible. Yeehaw. Now you're in a farming game. Yeah, so there's a lot of like kind of crazy stuff going on in this game. And yeah, you go from broken tutorial to broken tutorial. You can mess around in some of these games. Oh, okay, that doesn't work. So the audio system isn't set. This is supposed to be set in init, right? Yeah, and that's called from here. And that's when you set the player. And that's done from farm zone. And that's done from make zone current. Huh. This is done right here. What am I missing? Yeah, I don't see a problem here. Make zone current. We set this here. Does not exist? Thought doing a slow camera zoom when entering the hall. That could work. Zoom in on the door to the architect's office from the platformer as you enter it to make it clear that you've entered. Actually, this should be pretty doable even for the demo. Let's put this down here. What is going wrong here? And was there any other thing that showed up here? How do I get to... how do I get to the output? Oh, there we go. Shovel tile. This is for the audio system, right? Farm player 158. Yeah, I still can't figure out why this is the case, though. Because the farming game should set the player here. Main.cs. Okay, let's skip to the farming game and let's try this out. The reverb kind of just comes out of nowhere while the camera's close up. You mean leaves out of nowhere? We might be talking about two different things. We're going to have a problem, aren't we? Because I might want to make this taller. All right, we'll have to work through some of this stuff. All right, so what's going on here? Then you fall. Okay, yeah, we were talking about two different things. I'm probably not going to change that. The idea was that the camera can't keep up with the player. But what we could do is have more of the cave tile set showing before you finally land. That way the reverb doesn't seem to come out of nowhere. Yeah. Okay, let's step into this and find out what's going wrong here. We call this, I don't care about that one. Well, that didn't work the way I expected it to. Let's try that again. Yeah, this button works a little differently, I think, from in VS Code. So here, what I want to go into is this section. Field equals value, and then add all these things. And then initialize it with the audio subsystem. What's wrong here? Is this null? Oh, it's null. Well, that explains that. So it was null in the farming game. Audio system. This should have been in a init. Okay. This technically won't work, will it? No, because we initialized this right after we added to the scene. So it should be fine. Yeah, we call add child and then we call this. Okay, so we just need to move this down here. Why is this even a problem? What does it do? Oh, passing the audio system. Okay, sure, whatever. All right, that should fix everything. Let's try that out. It's just the player who can't make sounds. I got to figure out the fastest way to get out of this dialogue. I think it's saying yes and then no. Yeah, nice. Now we should hear sounds. Nice. I still love this idea. This is just so funny to me. This is staying in the game, by the way. This is part of what's so fun about making this game. It's like, I didn't really mean for this to happen, but I am for sure leaving it. Oh, you can't plant on there? I'll never get that. Speed run. Clearly. Anyway, that's all you can do in this game. There's nothing else yet. And I ran out of music. Oh, man. Yeah, I think it's going to be a hoot to make. I mean, it already has been pretty fun. Think of how much fun it'll be to play. Can truly be features is a cool concept. Yeah, I wonder what bug reports are going to look like from playtesters, where people are just like, hey, you might have meant for this to happen, maybe not. Maybe I should have like a list of known non-bugs. People will be so incredibly confused playing it. Yeah, but I think it'll be funny to discover that. I also think this could spawn a like genre of game like this. Like I could see it getting to that point. But hey, we always dream big, right? All right, so let's fix the rest of the opening. You wake up back in the farming game. You leave your house. The farm is covered in whatever starter crop you had. All right, tutorial man greets you. Hey, haven't seen you in ages. I see you must really like strawberries. Can't get enough of them. Leave me alone. Your grandpa would be proud. I still think about him often. I'm sure you do too. I just want to check in on you. None of the townsfolk have seen you. You should really come out and get to know them. Maybe bring some of those strawberries. If you try going to town without harvesting at least 3 crops, you see a message saying you need to do so. You can now harvest crops. You need at least 3 to go into the town. You go into town. Most NPCs don't have much to say but are friendly. Maybe we need to give you a scythe for this. One of them is Sidekick, whom you'll be seeing throughout the game. Okay. I think we finally fixed all this. So let's go check in. Will be a mix of plants versus zombies. You'll plant and start another game. I'm not totally sure I follow what you mean. I haven't played Plants vs. Zombies, although I am vaguely familiar. But I don't think there was any other, like a new game inside of it, was there? So this is the music player, so that when you went inside... Yeah, okay, we got to check this stuff in. So we want that. What is this? Oh, that change I just made? I don't want that yet. This one, not any of that. And all of this. Is there anything else I changed? I guess I made this unique. And then farm zone had a change. Initialize starting state to somewhere else. All right, so fade music when inside and vice versa when outside. Cool. Now the next bit is like change initialization order. Change initialization. How did I do this? This is to fix a bug. Oh, the edit button is the same as F4, yeah. Fix initialization bugs. I think there were just ordering problems. That was a joke about games and you mix various types of games. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the starting another game is something that even happens within the first like minute of the game. Well, the first minute when I'm playing. I guess it might be a couple minutes for other people. But yeah, so you're in a farming game now. You're going to go back to a platformer. You're going to go back to the farming game. Then you'll go to like totally new games. I do want to get a space shooter in there somewhere. Although I really want you to go from the space shooter game into the architect's realm so that you enter as a spaceship. I think that would be very interesting. Yeah, I should write that down before I forget. Sub games. Space shooter. Okay, so this should be one of the games that leads back to the architect's realm. That way you enter as a spaceship. I think it would be hilarious. So I thought you were going to plant something and then enemies would come, like in Plants vs. Zombies. Oh, I see what you're saying. No. That could be, yeah, that could be how some of the games end up working. Oh, that would be a lot of work to get to that point. Because like even just making these basic farming mechanics already took a bunch of time. All right, so this is done. This is done. Consolidate all the starting flags in one location. Yeah, I already had that written down. So let's go do that. Where do I want to do this? We have a feature flags thing. I kind of want to put this somewhere like that. So maybe we just say like flow control. Or like flow control flags. Yeah, I like that. I think that's good. All right, so there's going to be some public static class with some booleans in it. It's going to be dead simple to write. So all we do is move a couple of booleans somewhere else. So this is start in platformer. Public static cons or public const bool start in platformer equals false. Okay, so now we go replace that. Flow control. Good. And then the other one is in the farming zone, which means we got to put the starting state in there. I guess public static enumeration. You need to make it static. All right, so farm zone has this. Good. And then we set the starting one of those and get it from flow control flags. Farm games starting state. Yep, sounds good. All right, public const starting state this. So it's going to be play normally. And we rename this to farm game starting state conflict. Yeah, it would be a conflict. Maybe we rename it to farm game starting states. Yeah. Shows the cutscene and dialogue. Skips the cutscene and goes right to the dialogue. All right, so now if I want to just quickly change something, I could change this to free play and then this to start and platformer, true or false. Hey, Ezra, welcome in, welcome in. Howdy. How's the stream? How's everybody doing? Hope you all had a good Monday, good weekend. We've been working on Stuck in a Broken tutorial. I have 2 weeks until my vacation starts. Actually, less than 2 weeks now, but 2 work weeks. Hey, Void. So I'm trying to get to a point where I can have people playtest the game. I do not plan on having the very first playtest be public. So I want to get people who I can be on a Discord call with or something, and they'll share their screen, or they'll record a YouTube video or something, but not list it publicly. And that way I can get a feel for what do people think about the game, and not just what did they boil down afterward. Like, did they laugh at any part? Were they surprised at something? Are they confused by anything? Are the controls, I don't know, obnoxious? Oh, speaking of that, I gotta have people play with a controller. No, wait, no, I don't. I made keyboard controls are just not great. At least not great for this keyboard. But yeah, on a QWERTY keyboard, it should be fine. I should test it with a QWERTY keyboard. That'll be a good test. Demo polish. Make sure the game feels good on a QWERTY keyboard. Okay, so we're kind of toward the wrapping up side of things. Oh man, it's 3:46 already. Yeah, this is a little bit crazy. Will the final game have keyboard support or just controller? Yeah, I think keyboard support will be in. I don't think anything that you do in the game should be all that difficult, such that it would make keyboard support difficult to implement. 1 week before I start back on the day job. So I'm trying to get on the grind to release my game. But my Steam page is out now. Game available for wishlist. Ooh. If I don't click anything, does it automatically advance? Let me refresh this. I think it does. I want to see if it'll just play a slideshow for me as I talk. Okay, nice. Yeah, it will. Yeah, congrats. What's the day job you're going back to? It's a lot of visuals and trailer thing I need to update. So a roguelike strategy adventure game. Choose your path and manage your resource. You probably meant to write resources here. Finding upgrades and relics. Build your perfect strategy to reach your destination while adapting to a randomly generated world. And probably meant to type a randomly generated world. But yeah. Yeah, interesting. The background reminds me a little bit of Plasma Pong. Going back to Big Tech as a software engineer to get my savings back up again. I see. How do you feel about it? Is it more of a resigned thing, or was this the plan all along? The way you said get your savings back up makes me think the goal is to eventually get back to non-Big Tech for full time. But yeah, cool. I hope it goes well. I think it's always nerve-wracking releasing anything. So this is done, and we can now test this out. So if I say start in platformer is true, let's just see what happens here. Didn't I do a similar thing? Yeah. For me, it was a very like, I don't want to be doing this. I have to do this kind of thing. But other people sometimes have a better mentality than I do. Not good. Okay, no. Ezra's the same way, I guess. There's a lot of sadness since it almost feels like giving up on a dream. But I'm also hopeful since now that I've done full-time content making, I know exactly what to do. So now I'm able to work and do content creation at the same time. Yeah. You know, I think this is all part of, like, okay. So I've been talking about this on my stream for a long time. And I had a pretty similar path to you in terms of, like, big tech and, this, I guess I'll just say, Twitch, content creation, game dev. Excuse me. And what I think now, looking back, is I may have needed the journey I took to be able to appreciate where I am now. And I don't say this necessarily to say like this is a silver bullet. Everyone's going to feel great when they think about things this way. But yeah, I look back at what I think of as struggles or difficulty or just the circuitous path that I took to get here. And like, yeah, if I could go back, I might have done it a little differently, but I can't go back. And I don't regret what I did. Even the time I was working in big tech and I wasn't feeling fulfilled, it's like I still learned a lot. I met people that I'm still in touch with. And, you know, so many times I feel like we do things based on the knowledge we have at that moment. And if you had all the knowledge in the world, you might not have done things that way, but you didn't have all the knowledge in the world. And I think about that myself too. Like, you know, one of the things that I think about a little bit, and I don't want to get like too money driven here, but like when you die, you have some amount of money, and X may be negative. Maybe you have debts. X may be zero. I mean, it's very unlikely to be exactly zero, and X may be super positive. Like, who knows? This case doesn't really matter for many people when they're dead, right? Like, oh, I had $1 million in my bank account. It's like, well, would you have preferred to spend that money before you died? Like, probably. And if you knew that you'd end up with however much, then yeah, you might spend it sooner. Likewise, if you knew it'd be negative or you'd be passing on debt to people, I don't actually know how that works, then like maybe you'd live your life differently. But again, you can't know all that. And you can try to know all of that, and you'll probably just get paralyzed before making any decision. Why can't you go back? Well, I don't have time travel capability. I know Fallen does, but then they should have already known my answer. You should spend your money. You can't take it to the grave with you. Oh, you can take it to the grave. You can't take it past the grave. I think my past built knowledge and credibility that I was able to use for what I'm doing now just ended this chapter, and now a new hopeful chapter starts. I'll probably be back to doing this full time again, but yeah, I'm lucky for having had experience and pay that helped do this for a while. Yeah. And like I said, I wasn't saying this to try to be like, oh, your plights are not your plights. It would probably feel exactly the same way if I were in your shoes, because that's my own experience on Twitch. I started in 2015 and streamed to 2020, and then 2020 to 2023 it was back to like a normal job, and then 2023 until now has been back to Twitch. So yeah, these 2 points were on Twitch. And yeah, in 2020 I felt miserable. I was like, oh God, no, I failed. But now I look back and I'm like, man, it wasn't really a failure, and it wasn't the end of my life. And I was just mentioning this earlier. I don't know if you've seen Requiem for a Dream, but I don't know why this thought strikes me a lot whenever I watch like a prison movie or an addiction movie or something, that this happens a lot in real life where people lose like large chunks of their life to something. Imagine you're incarcerated or something. You're in jail for 5 years. You get out of jail. It's not like that was the end of your life. Yeah, sure, 5 years is a long time, but in terms of your whole life, it's not actually a super long time. So now I look back and I'm like, okay, well, it was 3 years. It's not the end of the world. Like, and it was a good thing. It was a job. It wasn't like I was in jail. So I don't know. That helps with the perspective too, but I recognize I'm on the other side of things and I'm speaking from my ivory tower right now. I'm envious of these situations, working on something you want to work on, at least full time. I'm not in a position to be able to do that. Happy for those that can. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that definitely, like, I don't know. I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say without it sounding bad. So I'll just say it. I am incredibly happy with my life. Like, I'm incredibly blessed to have what I have. My wife and I, we go on walks in the morning and we just talk about like nice things and we admire the plant life around us and everything. And like, I recognize I'm in a great position. So a lot of what I say should probably be discounted, knowing that that's the lens that shades my what I end up saying. How's your chroma key so clean? Is it the setup and lighting, or is it the software? So I'll turn off the lights one by one and you can see. So there's one of the studio lights off. I don't know how obvious it is now. It's actually probably still fine. And then with the other studio light off. And now you start to see a shadow right around like here. And then if I turn off the face light that I have, actually it's still kind of decent in all these cases. It's probably just the camera. I do have my curtains open a bit and now we have some natural light. But yeah, I'm going to turn all these back on. I think it's looking better. Yeah, when I was just using a webcam, I think it looked a lot worse. I've got the camera I use there in that spec sheet. Thing is, 10 times 3 years is 30 years, and suddenly it doesn't feel as small. I think if you look at it as a contiguous block of 30 years, though, Yeah, it feels like a super long time. I think most people, at least in tech, have the ability to switch jobs, even if they don't. And I think it's very unlikely that like the average person spends 30 years on a single job in tech. Now, I recognize that not everyone's in tech, but yeah, like think about what companies were even around 30 years ago that you could have still worked for until today. And if they are still around, aren't you like rolling in money at this point? Like, yeah, like Microsoft was around. I think there were, when I worked at Microsoft, there were still a couple of employees who had been there for a long time. And yeah, they were just doing it because they liked it at that point. Hey, Kevin, is it far away from me? It's very close. So I'm already touching it right now. Like I haven't even fully extended my arm. And in fact, if I were sitting in my chair, it's like my elbow is touching it right now. And I'll show you my, how do I do this? Hang on a second. I got to switch into, here it is, cam for normal content. Okay, so now you can see more of the room. But the reason I did this is so I could share my filter settings. Which, give me a sec. I mean, this isn't going to mean a whole lot to you, but here's what I have for the parameters down here. Now let me change back to my normal thing. Yeah, so here's what I have as my chroma key settings. Do you go on walks pre-stream? Yeah. Yeah, we started going on walks before work every morning. It's been really nice. Yeah, well, I've been following April 22nd, 2016. Happy almost decade anniversary here. When a new guy or teens try to act grown, just say you're not even 200 months old yet. Yeah. All right, so we got rid of this thing from here. It looks good. I'm going to put a comment saying I don't like having to hunt through the code for a bunch of booleans when testing various parts of the game. If we eventually have a cheat menu, then we could replace this entire file. Yeah, but until then, this is just the fastest possible way to do things. Just put some booleans in a file and change based on that. Yeah, nice. Okay, so manifest cheats in their own file. I just wanted to be able to modify a single location when showing off the game. Cool. Let's push this. It's been a long time. I don't want to lose any of this stuff. Yeah, I did a lot. Feel lucky that I can even just get a job at big tech when I want to. I think having worked in the industry at least once, I worked for like 10 plus years, helps a lot to have the flexibility. Yeah. Hey, out of curiosity, Ezra, and you don't have to answer this, do you think you'll change your spending habits this time around back in big tech? Or rather, your saving habits? And again, no need to answer. You don't have to. Feel free to say no comment. Sun on my balcony all day and a tree right in front. Honestly, a giant upgrade in my life. Yeah, for the longest time, I've shared a picture before of the setup of this room, but like I'm facing a window right now, but I used to have my desk facing this way. And it's like I can see some, I mean, I have my curtains mostly closed, but I can see some nice trees outside. There's actually blue in the sky. It's happening. So sunny and nice today, and I spent too many hours in the office. Yeah, it was cloudy, I think, for the first half. Yeah. Because at lunchtime I was a little chilly and I went to sit where a sunbeam normally is, and there was no sunbeam. It's pretty conservative already, and it's rough with economy. I definitely have new asset management technique that would make my money go a lot further. Okay, cool. Yeah. Someone said have 100 minus age percent and you're set with savings. A bit extreme, but I see the benefits. Oh, as in what you should. Yeah, I see. Yeah, that is a bit extreme. Especially because in your entry level jobs, I mean, you'd be saving what, like 80% of your income. Gathering info every day to dox Adam. He's on Earth. I repeat, he is on Earth. All right, well, we didn't make it nearly as far as I wanted to. I mean, we might as well update the job command. We've been talking about all this stuff too. Ecom job. Well, game development. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. Yeah, that's pretty good. Hey, QO. Man, cooking at home is something I just never really super got into. I think that if you enjoy cooking, you're very lucky because you can be good at something and not enjoy it. But cooking is something you can do every single day, that you can do for other people, that you can get better at, that you can try different things. There's just so many benefits. I don't personally love it. I don't hate it either. But if you do love it, I just think, man, that's such a boost. So what do we do for all these changes? Actually, let's just look at this on GitHub. It was mostly farming game stuff, right? Yeah, it was all like allow you to enter your own house, and then I guess we worked on some design. Worked on some lore and in the afternoon. Yeah, this does not feel like I spent 7 hours working. I don't mean like, well, the time did kind of fly by, but also just looking at the progress, there's not a lot. So if I'm in the wrong game, we need to go back to this so I can change this. You were streaming while you were in college? No, I wasn't streaming in college. All right. Body sculpting journey right now. Oh yeah, you mentioned weightlifting a while ago when I first dropped into your stream. I hope that's all been going well. Okay, so this makes this person leave. I wonder if we should fade that out even a little bit more. Yeah, okay. This is, I mean, this is feeling more like it's a real game inside of here. I think changing the world around will help too. I also love just digging out tiles in here. I still think this should be an Easter egg that we have in, so that when you come back into the game, whatever crops you planted, we remember. And we like fill a bunch of strawberries in here. Yeah, we should definitely do that at some point. Tile digging in home is funny. Yeah, that's staying in the game. All right, eventual tasks. We'll write it down over there. Abby. So if you planted seeds in your house, we should like turn your whole house into, yeah, we should do something that makes it clear that we knew that you would do this. Yeah, take care, Ezra. Enjoy the food. Hope your cooking goes well, and yeah, good luck on the game, on the upcoming job. Thanks again for the raid. Turn it into a big pumpkin. Well, you're planting strawberries, so if we do anything, it's probably got to be strawberry related. And what I was thinking we could do, maybe, we have a bunch of different beds. We could pick maybe like one of the more strawberry colored ones. Or just put like hundreds of strawberries in your house. Yeah. All right, well, we have done a lot. I think I should be going pretty soon. Because, yeah, today was pretty intense. There's a lot I need to do. So this is a normal work week. Friday is going to be a music day. I started working on the platformer music. I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out. I have not shared it yet. Let me go find someone to raid. Pass everyone over to them. Oh, I want to raid this person who's been raiding me, but they stream in Spanish. Yeah, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna raid them. I think raids are mostly symbolic at this point anyway. And maybe they speak English. I've actually only seen them speak Spanish. But maybe Kevin can say, I don't understand a thing to them for me. All right. Well, take care, everyone. Thank you for watching. And I will be back tomorrow for a half day of development. Bye, everybody.